Welcome into Hockey Sense, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're awake. Long night last night. It's a Thursday again. We're doing the Hockey Sense podcast today versus our usual day on Friday, which we did a couple of weeks ago too. So you just got to pay attention to when we're going to release it. But with Game 6 on Friday night, didn't want to put it out Friday afternoon. So we're doing it now. Give you an opportunity to not only react to Game 5, but also look forward to Game 6. Jamal Mayers is going to join me in a couple of minutes. We're going to have a full, complete breakdown of Game 6. I'd love to hear some of your questions, man. Always go into the comments section on YouTube. If there's anything you want us to discuss moving forward in the next episode, give me your opinion on certain things as well. I did get confirmation this morning from the league that there would be no supplemental discipline against Brayden Schenn, and I'm in full agreement with that. There's no reason that there should be, but certainly worth following it up just based on the discussion that took place after Mark Scheifele left the game. You had both coaches being very vocal in the post-game press conferences. Scott Arniel, the head coach of Winnipeg, referring to Jim Montgomery as Dr. Montgomery, or at least saying he didn't know he was a doctor. We can call him Dr. Montgomery, Dr. Monty. Monty just made a point to say, hey, listen, when Scheifele left the game, it was because of the Radek Faksa hit, not because of the Brayden Schenn hit, pointing out that he played 6 more minutes after the Schenn hit before he eventually left the game. Now, does that mean that he left purely because of the Faksa hit? No. He took a number of hits. He went in to hit Jordan Kyrou yesterday, and I never really seen Kyrou do this on the wall, kind of stick his ass out and protect the puck. And you saw Scheifele go over the top. Even on the Faksa hit, he basically skated right into him. And then he took the brunt of the collision. So Faksa took a little bit of a beating in Game 5. Probably the game plan for the Blues, not just with him, but any other best players to play those guys hard. You go back to Games 1 and Games 2. In Winnipeg, the Blues weren't hard enough on Connor. They weren't hard enough on Scheifele. The stats pointed towards that. There just weren't, enough bodies getting in their way and taking away their time and space. In terms of last night's game, a lot of hits. Still had over 80 combined hits in the game last night. Trying to see if I can pull up any analytics for you here that would make some sense. But, Binnington was fine. That's the first time in 12 starts, I believe, that Binnington allowed more than 3 goals in a playoff start. And Hellebuck obviously probably had his best game of the series, although he still was leaky. Some of the goals that he let in just still would have you a little bit concerned, I would think, if you're a Winnipeg fan. The Snuggerud goal was obvious. That got a lot of attention. Just on the ice, not a whole lot of, heat on the shot. Beat him short side. Can't happen, especially when all these announcements are coming out every single day with Hellebuck being named as a finalist for the Vezina and the Hart. He's right there as a finalist for the Hart Trophy, too, with Draisaitl and Kucherov. Kucherov, by the way. Everyone always talks about, hey, right when the season ends, he's back on the ice working. Season's over for Tampa Bay. Florida gets rid of the Panthers in 5 games. Who saw that happening? A lot of people had Tampa Bay picked as their Stanley Cup favorite, as the winner. And coming out of the Eastern Conference, they were red hot down the stretch. Vasilevsky started to look like Vasilevsky. So now what happens with Tampa Bay? Where are they at now as an organization? And they are no longer the front runner that they were for so many years. Still a very good team. They've got a lot of great players on their team, but they're not better than the team that they faced in the first round this year in Florida. That is a decisive victory by the Florida Panthers, who just look primed and ready and focused and energetic, and they look like they could certainly go the distance again. It's going to be a tough matchup for Ottawa or Toronto, whoever they face next. That series now shifts to a Game 6 back to Ottawa. I'm curious how people see that playing out, man. I got the Ottawa jersey on behind us. We got Florida also hanging up. You'll see that when Jamal Mayers gets here. That could be the next round matchup. Are you panicking in Toronto? Are you concerned? I mean, we've seen this movie before. It's almost predictable with this core group of players, but and they should be in position to close it out on the road, or they are in position to close it out on the road. I think they're good enough to close it out on the road. Whether or not they do it remains to be seen. If they don't win tonight, man, there's going to be some serious tension in Ontario surrounding the Toronto Maple Leafs. But last night's game, man, for the Blues, and they just didn't have their typical energy that we've seen from them throughout the series. I mean, even in the first couple of games that they lost, they were right in the game and they were playing hard. I thought they still had moments last night where they played hard. They came out of the gate playing hard, very physical. But they couldn't get in on the forecheck. They just didn't look dangerous at all. They need certain players to pick it up, Jordan Kyrou being one of them. He's got to really get it going. Just hasn't been the player that you need him to be here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Fowler gets another point. He's got points in each of the 5 games here in the series. That was the first game that Pavel Buchnevich didn't get on the board. Thomas was a little bit quiet. But what does this mean for Winnipeg now moving forward? If they don't have their number one center, and he's their best player in Scheifele, and maybe not the most dangerous offensive player they have on the roster when you look at Kyle Connor, but in terms of who has the most impact on the game, I don't think there's any question that it's Mark Scheifele. They get Velarde back. They're getting closer and closer to getting Ehlers back. I don't expect to see him this series, just like we won't see Dylan Holloway this series. We probably won't see Tyler Tucker the rest of the way in this series, I wouldn't think, just based on the injury and how significant the injury looked. For everybody that's wondering if these guys are going to return to the lineup, I mean, you just got to focus on the days off between games. Are they practicing? Are they on the ice? And if they're not on the ice, then there's your answer. The Blues lead the NHL, the playoffs, in forecheck chances. And they just didn't really get that area of their game going, although Nathan Walker kind of owned Luke Shen at the end of the game. I mean, he just outmuscled him behind the net and then outmuscled him to the net and then outmuscled him in front of the net. It's a good game by Nathan Walker. But you can't have Walker and, your fourth line be your best players in a game like that last night. So, listen, it's proven to be a home series so far, and I don't expect it to change. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes 7 games. Somebody's going to have to win on the road. At least the Blues are going to have to if they win the series, but can Winnipeg get it done? They were the best road team in the regular season. They haven't looked like it. Games 3 and 4, obviously, with Hellebuck getting pulled. They got chased in both games. And I think there was some legitimate concern about, what version of Hellebuck they were getting here in the playoffs. I mean, his number, I think he's 21 and 29 over the course of his last 50 starts in the playoffs. It's not a great record, but he is a great goaltender. Made some terrific saves last night. I mean, just some great saves. Obviously, the one that everyone's going to focus on is the paddle save that he made on Oskar Sundqvist. Although, when you talk to goalie people, they'll tell you that he made that save look more difficult than it should have been. Didn't read it very well. I mean, I think everyone in the building knew that Nathan Walker was going to pass in that situation. He didn't sell shot at all. And for Hellebuck to just kind of find himself out of position and have to make a desperation save in that situation, maybe it was a little bit unnecessary. I give him credit for making the save, but his feet got stuck in the ice. I mean, he just didn't push off and didn't read it very well. And that's one that Oskar Sundqvist would certainly want to have back. He had an entire cage wide open, and he shot it in the one spot. You really just can't shoot it. It's just right where Hellebuck's stick was. But an acrobatic save by Hellebuck. I'll give him credit. Made some really good saves. The Shen hit on Scheifele. Go back and look at it. No suspension. There shouldn't be a suspension. A lot of people would suggest that there shouldn't have been a penalty on the play. But they did call a minor, and then obviously a melee ensued. And again, it gets to the conversation of should Winnipeg have even had a power play coming out of the play? Listen, if there wasn't going to be a penalty called, then I would say no, Winnipeg should not have been given a 2-minute power play. But they gave the extra minor to Schenn during the scrum after the play. And I think because the hit was so loud and it looked way more dangerous than it was, Winnipeg was going to get the power play to begin with, so I think the officials on the ice wanted to make sure they still got that power play. So they evened it up after the whistle. So St. Louis still got the extra 2 minutes. But it was a hell of a hit, man. Brayden Schenn is just a flat-out machine. He's just gangster when it comes to hitting. I mean, he is one of the harder hitters in the league. I don't think there's any question about that. Maybe doesn't get the same volume of hits as some of these guys that find themselves at top of the leaderboard every single year when it comes to, hits in the NHL. But in terms of who hits the hardest in the league and who hits to hurt you, I mean, he is up there. I mean, he had a massive hit on David Lowry. I keep saying David Lowry. Dave Lowry, man. He's been on the Cam and Strick podcast. Longtime NHLer. Now coaching in Seattle, although he doesn't know his future in Seattle. The organization has said one assistant coach is staying, and that's Jess. The rest of the assistants aren't sure. I do hear Calgary's looking for an assistant coach, and they may have some interest in Dave Lowry. But Brayden Schenn early in the series just destroyed Adam Lowry, the captain of the Winnipeg Jets. Just a hell of a hit. So the Blues need more volume at the net, more shots. We all know that. 19 shots isn't going to cut it. And they just didn't have their legs. They just didn't look like they had their typical energy that we've seen from St. Louis throughout the series, which is difficult to sustain. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I don't know how many teams can play like that every single night. LA's going through that right now. They got up on Edmonton, and now they've lost 3 consecutive games to the Oilers. You got to rediscover it. I still feel like that series may be far from over. You never know. We'll see how it plays out. Washington advances. They get past Montreal in 5. Carolina, they get past Jersey in 5. Florida gets past Tampa in 5. A lot of 5-game series over on the Eastern Conference. Every series finishes in 5 games except for Toronto and Ottawa. And then in the West, you've got way more competitive playoff series. I don't want to get into too many things and then repeat myself and do all of that. So Jamal Mayers is coming in just a couple of minutes. So we'll chat it up with Jammer in full comprehensive recap of Game 5. We'll get into some of the other series as well. So again, I want to see the comments. I want to see you subscribe, and we appreciate all the support that we're getting here on Hockey Sense. Brought to you by First Community, our great friends over there at First Community. Nobody does hockey like First Community. They are the best in St. Louis. You know by now, First Community. Over 40 locations in Missouri and Illinois, but now they're adding another one, a new branch. Welcome to the family in Sunset Hills. Welcome. Located at the intersection of South Lindbergh and West Watson Road. Great area. Easy to get to. Brand new. Beautiful. Full service branch. They have got the drive-through, the ATM Plus. They got everything. So for a complete list of branches and hours, visit firstcommunity.com. Welcome, Sunset Hills. Dirt Cheap Fun Fun, your one-stop party shop. Download that app today and find the location nearest you. So many of these locations have drive-thrus. You don't have to get out of your car. You can do all your shopping on the app and then get to the drive-thru and just pick it up. They've got curbside assistance if you want that as well. Don't sleep on their party goods, man, at Dirt Cheap. They've got so many things going on inside Dirt Cheap. Party supplies, paper goods, all that type of stuff, decorations. So if you've got graduation parties and other stuff happening, Mother's Day is right around the corner. You can find a lot of things. Best selection of beer, wine, and booze over there at Dirt Cheap Fun Fund, your one-stop party shop. The Wallace family, just flat out getting it done, man. We love the support that they give us here on Hockey Sense. 314 Sports Cards. They've got the best selection of hockey cards. You've heard me talk about 314 Sports Cards for several years now. Over there in Olivet, Devin Sant and his team just flat out getting it done. If you've got any valuables at your house, memorabilia, signed pieces, and you want to know what the value is of these pieces, take them in. They'll tell you. They may even buy them from you. If you've got any old school cards that you've kept in great condition, bring them in. They may want them. But they'll certainly let you know what the value is of a piece that you may have. They've got the best selection of everything. Hockey cards is their bread and butter. Unbelievable hockey cards, but the baseball cards, the football cards, the soccer cards, MLS, PGA, they've got everything. TVs, sports are always on, couches, you can come hang out. What a staff they have there. Love everybody over there at 314 Sports Cards. Take your son or daughter in there today. If you're an adult, you can go hang out there as well. The card community is thriving, and nobody does it better than 314 Sports Cards. I'll tell you that. Blue Note Roofing, David Novak, he's tired today. I guarantee you he still got up and he got to work on time, man. And he didn't miss a shift last night either in these late night games. Friday night, by the way, 7 o'clock drop of the puck. So we'll have a little more normalcy on Friday night, although it's a weekend, so I don't think the crowd really would care if it was an 8:50 start anyway. Yeah, 8:50. That's when the puck actually drops. Everyone calls it 8:30. It's not at 8:30. It's 8:50. But David Novak, roofing, siding, soffit, gutters, soffit, fascia, everything that you're looking for. He does it all. 314-920-5713. 314-920-5713. For the one and only David Novak over there at Blue Note Roofing, my man. Again, 314-920-5713. All right, let's step aside and we'll bring in Jamal Mayers, man. A lot of hockey talk coming up with Jammer. Played a long time in the NHL. Looking forward to getting his take on the events that took place in Winnipeg. We'll kick it around the other series as well. Nothing better than playoff hockey. We're at the Half Coast Studios. This is Hockey Sense. I'm Andy Strickland, as always brought to you by First Community. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Jamal Mayers with us, 15 years in the National. Won a Stanley Cup, knows a thing or two about playoff hockey, and of course his appearance is brought to you by Dobbs Tires and Auto Centers and the Bartolino's Family Restaurant.
Nice.
And of course, Hockey Sense is brought to you by First Community. Welcome back to the show.
Good to be here. I love the playoffs. First round.
Love the playoffs. Always controversy. Every game takes on a life of its own. You just never know what's going to happen, what we're going to be talking about. And this one's no different. And obviously, we're going to start in St. Louis with the Blues in Winnipeg. Last night in Winnipeg. In general, the Blues just didn't have their game, though, right? I mean, we'll get into the hits and everything that kind of came with it.
Sure.
But the lack of energy from the Blues, that was a little bit surprising. How difficult is it to bring the energy that they've really brought throughout the first 4 games, but specifically games 3 and games 4, so physical, and then to go back on the road and just, wind it up and do it all over again?
Yeah, it's extremely difficult, but I think we need to take a step back, exhale, and say, the Winnipeg Jets are a really, really good hockey team that has struggled in 2 games in St. Louis, did not play well. But I think you'd be foolish to not think they were going to have their best game of the series in Game 5 at home.
Yeah.
Having won the President's Trophy, you were going to get their best, knowing how well St. Louis has played at home, that they just finished losing 2 games. There needed to be a response. There needed to be a response from their entire lineup. There needed to be a response from Hellebuck. There needed to be a response. And I think that the fact that they got their top right winger back, put everybody in the right seats for their team, and help show why their third line, when it's constructed how it was last night, is arguably one of the best third lines in the entire NHL.
Yeah. And they had the reputation coming in. I mean, they just hadn't gotten any secondary scoring at all prior to last night.
They hadn't. And I think that, what Nemesnikov had one goal in months, right? And he had 1 goal in February, and last night was his next goal. I always thought that at the deadline that was a calculated misstep, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the additions that they made with Schenner and the forward Tanev, whose brother plays for the Leafs, because they brought something that you need.
Some grit, yeah.
Right, but that's a hole that wasn't filled all year. And I know they were able to do it, but it puts a little bit more pressure on the top line to always be the ones, chipping in. And I know they thought, well, we have one of the best third lines that can, those two, second, third, can eat up some of that, but they haven't performed up until last night in the playoffs, production-wise. So they needed that from the group. I think getting their top right winger back really helped, and it was really noticeable what he does well and why he's so effective on that top line.
He's big, man.
He's big. He holds on to pucks. He retrieves pucks below the goal line. He's able to make tiny little plays to Scheifele and Connor that help sustain offensive zone time and allow those two guys to create options for themselves. And he's a good net front present guy. So it's a tough matchup, and I thought they did a much better job of getting to the interior. I thought all series long, including, especially in games 3 and 4, the Blues did a tremendous job net front, keeping Binner, allowing Binner to see the shots and not allowing second chances.
What does this mean for Winnipeg if they don't have Scheifele now in Game 6?
It's a big hole. I think that he's arguably their second. I think he's their second best player. It's safe to say that.
Yeah. He's one of the.
He's one.
They got to replace 89 points, right? He probably does more than Connor does. Not the most dangerous goal scorer.
Yeah, he's a driver, and he's
defensively
responsible. Holds on to pucks, makes plays. Like
number one center, right?
He's their best player. I think you're right. I think that you have to say the center's the best player. That makes Connor go, and can Connor get it done without him? Yeah, probably, but it's a lot better when he's there. So it's a big hole. It's a big hole for them, but especially when they've already got what's his name out? Ehlers out as well. So but every team's going through it. So opportunity for the Blues. They got to take care of business at home. They do not want to go back to Winnipeg for Game 7.
All right, so Jim Montgomery.
Well, they do want to go to Winnipeg.
Oh, They have to. So Jim Montgomery after the game, I mean, obviously, talking to the league, he doesn't want to, he wants to make sure his captain isn't, under the microscope there for the hit on Scheifele, and we'll get into the hit and what you thought of the hit. But, when the coaches are kind of going back and forth, and let's set the stage here a little bit. These two guys have known each other for a long time. When Scotty Arniel was just after his playing career, when he was coaching in Manitoba, Monty went there for a short time. He was a player there in Manitoba, so they got to know each other a little bit. They know each other very well. Obviously, both guys have been coaching in the league for a little bit now. So, but you had Monty basically letting the league know, hey, listen, when Scheifele got hurt, it wasn't from the Schenn hit. It was from the Faksa hit. You just don't know. He got hit so many times yesterday, even trying to hit Kyrou on the wall. Kyrou sticks his butt out, and he goes, head over heels over Kyrou. I'd never seen Kyrou really protect the puck like that on the wall. Was actually a nice play. He runs right into Faksa. I mean, he skated right into him, and he took the brunt of the hit in that specific collision, and then obviously took the big hit from Schenn. And there were some other hits as well. So Scotty Arniel, he didn't like that. What Monty said, and basically said he should not have made that comment because he's factually wrong. He doesn't know when his player got hurt. So what do you make out of the two coaches going back and forth?
Well, a lot of gamesmanship going on, and like you said, trying to put those statements and sentiment out there to kind of influence some non-disciplinary decisions or decisions in that regard, to kind of muddy the road a little bit on Monty's part. A little, I wouldn't put too much stock in. I think it's just, if Monty has a one-on-one conversation, he's going to say, I did that.
We've seen it with Paul Maurice and Cooper doing the same thing on the Eastern side.
It's part of it. Honestly, like, the only ones who pay attention to it are us.
Sure.
And the fans. Players aren't paying attention. They might have a chuckle about it, but it's preventing, perhaps, hopeful that Schenn doesn't get called to the carpet.
And he's not going to. I confirmed that this morning from the league that he's not going to. Your thoughts on any similarities, I should say, between Matthew Tkachuk's hit on Gensel versus what we saw from Schenn on Scheifele last night because, Matthew, obviously, no supplemental discipline there either, even after Hagel was suspended for a game earlier in the series. Although Ekblad ended up getting a couple games for the forearm shiver on Hagel.
I think in both instances, what's important, and I think they got it right, in the sense that we can't completely take away hitting.
Mm-hmm.
What's suspendable? Were both hits late? Yes. It's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
It's a 2-minute penalty.
We got to separate that. What's a penalty versus what's a suspension?
Yeah, it's a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a penalty.
Well, you didn't have a problem with Ekblad getting a couple games there, right?
No, that's a suspension.
Yeah. Okay.
And the difference is it's a forearm shiver to the head.
Yeah.
Like that, and that player was injured
and
is not coming back. But if it's if it's not a targeted hit the head, and you have to be careful because there's different ways concussions can happen. It's not just the contact to the head. There's the whiplash of the force of hitting the ice when your neck swings back. That is a form of a concussion as well. But I think in both instances, they kind of got it right. It was kind of a late hit. That's a interference penalty, if you will. Got the whole body, didn't get a piece of him, and we move on.
When you watch the hit, Scheifele, for whatever reason, he's like watching the puck. He didn't see Schenn coming. I mean, you look at his eyes. He just wasn't aware of Schenn even being there.
The puck was away from him.
Mm-hmm.
It's I always
thought it should have been a penalty, right?
Should have been penalty. Should have been a 2-minute penalty.
Okay.
But I think that I also get frustrated with players, and I'm not saying about that specific example, where they're like 6 feet from the boards, 4 feet from the boards, unaware that they could get hit.
That's what I'm
when
talking
the puck's
about.
Within 5 feet.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be a stance awareness of it could come.
Scheifele's just looking at the puck.
It was like you're just standing up there like nothing's gonna happen. Like you're like the ice cleaner.
You're almost asking for it.
Like, are you the ice cleaner just skating around like you don't think you can get hit? Like this is the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
You got to be.
So I was surprised to see that too. And that's what Schenn's going to do. Listen, Schenn may not have the most hits in the league from a volume standpoint, but he is truly one of the hardest hitters going right now in the league. Like he absolutely crushes guys and guys that are bigger than him. I mean, the Adam Lowry hit early in the series, that was a hard hit last night. I'm curious to get your thoughts because some people felt like he shouldn't have gotten the extra penalty because of, the big melee that ensued after the hit. Everyone comes in and whatever. But I think when the referees are going to call the initial penalty, even after that, they're going to give him the extra and make sure Winnipeg probably still stays in the power play, right?
I don't think we should debate that was a penalty. It was late. It's a 2-minute penalty. The two coincidentals afterwards are a wash, but that's a penalty. It's a 2-minute penalty. But you know what? It's also an investment. It's exactly who you circle on the board that you want to hit. Like it's not like you're going and you're hitting Appleton. No offense to Appleton. Like you want to be physical on Scheifele, Connor, Morrissey, DeMello, Pionk. Like those are the guys I would be circling.
Yeah.
Right? Not big guys, skill guys.
Yeah.
But those are the guys before a series happens, like you're circling.
You'll take the penalty if it means you knock them out of the series.
That's what I mean. That's an investment.
Yeah. How much momentum do you feel like Winnipeg brings now back to St. Louis after having a couple of games where they were off? Their goaltender gets pulled 2 games in a row. Can they gain some confidence knowing they were able to play their best game of the series after struggling for a couple of games and getting blown out here in St. Louis?
Confidence, yes. Momentum, no. There's no such thing as momentum game to game. So the momentum will live in each game. And that's it. That's why you can lose a game 7-3, come back and win in overtime. Like it has no carryover. Confidence, yes.
Yeah.
The Blues gained confidence from the winning 2 games at home and dominating, but it didn't carry over into game 5.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't carry over game to game. It's within each game. Get off to a good start. Get the seed of doubt going in, because I still feel like Hellebuck, although they're trying to paint a picture that he played so well, he was junk. The Blues didn't really test him.
No.
That goal, no offense, from Snuggie.
I don't know how that goes in, Jammer.
it's a flubber. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would have felt better if it went under his pad.
Right.
You know, right? You didn't seal it to the ground.
Oh.
It went short side.
And he's 6'5". Those just
Kick your leg
those
out, bro.
pillows out there.
Know where your net is.
Yeah, I agree.
He's annoying. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say
Do you like his comments?
I'll say this out loud publicly.
How much he studies?
Enough. How about you do? Stop with the study. No one knows the goaltending position, studies it more than I do. Like, buddy, you have been junk in the playoffs. Like, he's not been good. His ego's like, get it in check. You need to start winning games that matter and outperforming the guy at the end of the ice, which he has yet to do.
Mm-hmm.
In
That's
these
the
playoffs.
first time Bennington's allowed or has had a playoff game where he's allowed more than 3 goals in like his last 11 or 12 starts in the playoffs.
The team didn't play well.
Yeah.
So, you know what? He'll be fine.
Even on the save that everyone's talking about, this amazing save that he made on Sundqvist with the paddle of his stick, he misread that play.
Yeah,
I mean, it's Nathan Walker coming down.
He's passing the whole time.
He didn't even sell shot. He was obviously he was looking to pass. And when you talk to goaltending people, they'll tell you like he didn't push off. His skates got stuck in the ice, which forced him to have to make a desperation save. And you know, Sundqvist would like to have that one over again anyway. He had just about the entire net wide open.
Yeah. Okay. What if Sundqvist one times it?
Mm-hmm.
He's not even in the net.
Yeah.
No, like I love Sonny. That you got to win time. You got to one time that.
Yeah.
He caught it and then shot it. Just whip it to the net.
Yeah.
It's an empty net.
But even if he just lays that flat on the ice or whatever, but
it illustrates even further the point that he was completely out of position.
Out of position.
No chance to recover to the net.
Mm-hmm. So he forced him to make a desperation save that he shouldn't have had to make.
What I've been told too is he has terrible feet.
Mm-hmm.
Hellebuyck. That's why he stays so deep. He's a big goaltender. I think if you get him moving laterally, he is in big trouble. It's like he's stuck in mud.
Why is that though? Like Jammer, the announcement just came down the last couple of days. He's a finalist with the Vezina, no surprise there. But you know, it came out today that he's a finalist with Draisaitl and Kucherov for the Hart Trophy. It's like he is widely considered the best goaltender in the world. I don't think it's even close in terms of putting anybody in his category right now outside of Vasilevsky, who came back to life this season, and you know, other goaltenders who kind of have some way more ups and downs. Is he strictly living off of the system and the team that he plays or that plays in front of him, or is he truly that good? Like, how do you break him down? It's really interesting. I've never seen a great goaltender of his reputation not have the playoff success to match it.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel the same way as like if you ever listen to Wayne talk, winning matters. Winning the cup matters more than like, especially for goaltenders. And I think it really irks him when you hear him talking about a guy like Grant Fuhr. It frustrates him to no end because Grant doesn't get the respect because his numbers don't. But if the game was 4-4, Grant was making those saves to win the hockey game. If the game was, he wasn't letting in that sixth if it was 5-5.
Yeah. And
to me, I follow that mantra. And that's why I have so much respect for Corey Crawford. Like, he was a winner. And it was never about him. Even when the team wasn't playing well in front of him and everyone could say what they were and how they won and how he got 2 cups and the team was really good. And no, you don't think he got challenged. You don't think he had to make saves. You don't think he had to be good when it mattered and found a way to win. Like, finding a way to win matters to me. And that's why, a tremendous amount of success in the regular season. I'm sorry. I am having trouble putting him in the category of the elite.
No, he's not Mario Brodeur. He's not Patrick Waugh. He's not Dominic Hasek. He's not Eddie Belfour.
Stop. No.
Until he is, right?
Until you win.
Yeah. So it's like the equivalency of like a great quarterback in the NFL who just can't win in the playoffs.
You have to win.
And that's how you create your legacy, and that's how you get defined as being great, is by doing it in the playoffs. I think people have attached that great mantra to his name without him really earning it the traditional way, which is winning in the postseason in the playoffs. He had another opportunity, obviously, in the Four Nations and some of that too, right? So
I'm not saying he'll never get there.
mm-hmm.
I thought this was going to be the year, but he has not performed.
Yeah, even the goals late in the game. Although Nathan Walker, I'll give him credit for just out-muscling Luke Schenn behind the net and then to the net and then in front of the net. Like, Schenn can't allow that either.
No, Schenner got bench pressed over by Fox in game 4 and then the one in game 5. I'm like, bro.
Based on what you've seen from Winnipeg, even if they get past St. Louis, do you see a team that can go the distance?
They've got to somehow get healthy, and they're going to need everybody. And that includes, what's his name? They're going to need Ehlers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and they'll get him back. He's skating now, but he's not going to be there for this series. But I would imagine he'll come back at some point. If they get past St. Louis, he'll be available.
I'm not convinced. The way that Hellebuck's playing, it doesn't bode well for them.
Unless he just flips a switch. But his comments about I watch more film than any other goaltender in the world, it's like that screams insecurity right there.
Yeah, I see right through that. Come on, bud. Stop the puck.
It's interesting because he didn't come like through the Hockey Canada program or some traditional path that you see great players come through. Like, it's not Carey Price. He went to UMass Lowell, was kind of like came out of nowhere and wasn't like a high draft pick and nothing like that, right? He's just turned into a really good regular season goaltender. Obviously the best regular season goaltender we've seen over the last little stretch. But I think everyone's waiting, and maybe the pressure is getting to him too because of where he plays and how much he's hearing about it. I was surprised they even had him talk, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the game's changed, I guess, because I just stop the puck, buddy.
Just stop the puck.
You haven't been very good. You should not talk to the media right now. Like, he should know better than to talk to me.
Why do you think St. Louis struggled getting to their game in Game 5, just in terms of, especially offensively?
I think that was, you knew you were going in, to me, you were going to get the best of the Jets in all facets. Desperation, structure, intention, line changes, matchups. Like, that was their season. That was their best. And it's hard to get to that place when you're manufacturing desperation. Like, the Blues weren't as desperate. They're going to have to be because their season is over if they don't do it tomorrow night, Friday night. So the desperation is real for now. So now you're going to get a team in Winnipeg who knows that if you don't want pressure, you do not want to have a Game 7. And a Blues team that's going to be desperate because their season's on the line.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic.
It's been a home series,
Yeah.
How much does the home crowd really, truly, impact a team?
Typically, I don't think it does, but it has in this series.
Yeah.
It's been very strange.
Yeah.
Not strange. It's like, I think the starts for both teams have really brought both crowds into it. And I think that the Blues fans have really stepped up, and it started when their winning streak, and that momentum is carried over into the playoffs.
Cam Fowler has points in every game of the series now.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. Has he shown you? Did you know he was? You forget sometimes because he was on teams that weren't very good the last couple of years, but he played on some great teams in Anaheim too.
No, he's an everything defenseman.
Would you re-sign? Would you give him a 3-year deal right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a Jacob Slavin type of D with more upside offensively.
More offense, yeah.
Defends by skating. Low maintenance type of guy. Has a competitiveness that doesn't have to scream at you that he's competitive. Can help mentor other younger guys. Came in an era where he had great leadership around him, and Getzlaf and those types of people that showed you like how to act and how to be a professional. And a tremendous find, a guy who had a decision to make whether or not he wanted to move, and just a brilliant move to realize that I think if you covet and I think that that Army does this, and as a staff they do this, and I'm only looking from the outside. When you covet guys who can skate, then you can defend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when you skate and you look at who they pick up and who they bring in, it's always with the idea like, are they an above average skater?
Mm-hmm. The Blues need more from a Jordan Kyrou, for
example.
Dude.
We never talked about this before this, right?
No.
Not good. He was not good. Not engaged, not around the puck. Listen, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say two things, and I'm going to be a little bit harsh, but it's the truth. I think that hit, from the point that when he got hit, as tough as it was, he showed a tremendous amount of toughness to get up, get to the bench, stay in the game, not let them see that he was, probably in some pain, and at the very least lost his
Logan
wind.
Stanley got him, yeah.
He has not been the same
since
that hit.
Could be hurt.
Right? So you need more.
Mm-hmm.
You need more. You need to go punch someone figuratively, go punch someone else in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Go at other people. There's choices you can make that aren't going back at the same big guy that got you, to make a statement that'll get you past that moment. You got to push that wall down.
Ryder, one of those type of guys, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little lighter guy.
Yeah, okay. Well,
because that guy weighs like 230.
I know. But, I mean, he got into it yesterday. He just wasn't really looking to, he's not going to.
But do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
So he's gotta come. And I know that's the next step of his evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
As much as growing as he's done.
That compete, yeah.
That last part is pushing down the wall of the doubt that might be in his head.
Yeah. And maybe he's not 100%. Who knows? I mean, you saw it from Bolduc last night. He took a couple of hits and had a stick go between his legs and whatever. And he was fighting it. Got stuck on the ice. Couldn't get the puck out.
I just saw that.
So, yeah, that is it's interesting. I feel differently about this game coming up in Game 6 than I did coming into Game 3, because the Blues were so into those games in Games 1 and Games 2. They hadn't played a home game yet. You're like, okay, let's just feel this out. Let's see what happens after Game 3. But now Winnipeg, having been here for a couple of games, I would imagine you're going to get a game similar to what we saw from them in Game 5 versus what we saw from them in Games 3 and Games 4. St. Louis is going to have their best game of the series.
I think we should touch on some tactical elements that have happened in this series too, quickly, if you don't mind. So I think that Monty did a tremendous job in Game 3 and 4 in adjusting to a couple of things. One, in the neutral zone, started forcing them to dump it in, and they diamond up in the neutral zone, forced them to dump it in.
Mm-hmm.
And offensively, they changed sides very quickly. The Jets love to swarm, meaning two defensemen in the corner, forward in front of the net. Two other forwards one guy's at the top of the circle. The other forwards in the corner to outnumber the Blues. Well, the adjustment that Monty made is, as soon as the first forward could get the puck, he was rimming it all around to release and not negate their ability to swarm defensively. And that really put them out of sorts, and they didn't really adjust in Game 3 and 4. The difference they made in Game 5 at home was they made their D stay at home and not go to the corner, and delayed their swarm. Not that they didn't swarm, but they decided they needed to see an actual stop. So it kept them having a guy in front of the net and a forward in the high slot in the middle of the ice, and it negated the rim back around. Now they were able to go and get the puck out. That was what the adjustment that the Jets made, and that really made a difference. And that's why you noticed that the Blues didn't have very much sustained in-zone time in the offensive zone.
Yeah.
Inversely, they started being willing to give up the puck and put the puck in rims and soft chips with support to actually get the puck back in the offensive zone, and didn't allow the Blues to, be able to come out so quickly. And, now it's going to be interesting. What are the adjustments that now Monty's going to make here in Game 6 to help change things in the neutral zone, and also to help change things in the offensive zone? I'm really looking forward to what that little dynamic and that little chess match that's going on between the two.
It's been a great series, physical series. Winnipeg was the best road team in the NHL during the regular season. The Blues were the best home team down the stretch. winning their last 11 regular season games, 12 regular season games, and now obviously winning their first 2 home games during the playoffs. All right, before we get out of here, let's touch on some of these other series.
Sure.
If you're Toronto, what are you thinking now heading into Game 6 in Ottawa?
Well, the pressure is obviously on the Toronto Maple Leafs, but they've got to step up. What I didn't like about their Game 5 was there was a gross lack of urgency from the big boys. Like, where was the urgency from? There was urgency from Nyes. There was urgency from Max Domi, McMahon, Lorentz, Lawton. That's it. Those guys can't be your best players. Riley's been awful. I'm sorry. He's not been good.
No. Morgan Riley, yeah.
And, you need Matthews getting his chances at the post, had his opportunities. The power play has to have more urgency. The sense of urgency with that group, that was not good enough. And they should be very concerned.
Does their past creep in? I mean, they're hearing it. I mean, maybe you can avoid it, but this group hasn't been able to get it done
you just
together.
Can't be that fragile.
No, I know.
If you're that fragile, then it's going to affect you.
Yeah, okay.
Like you're up 3-0. If you thought you were going to sweep them, are you surprised it goes 6? Big deal if it goes 6. Win the series. Close it out.
Is Ottawa that good of a team though? I mean, they should be able to close out a team like Ottawa, I think. I like Ottawa.
Yeah, they should.
They're young, they're inexperienced, and they're gonna
should, but they're gaining confidence. They're a young team. They have nothing to lose. They're like playing on their
toes. And Allmark played great.
Allmark played. Yeah, but you gotta find a way.
No, I agree.
Like, who's the goalie for what's his name for the Jersey?
Markstrom.
He played great. You find a way.
Yeah.
You score on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop with the excuses. And that's, I can give you several examples throughout my career where you as a team are like, guys, I get it. He's playing unbelievable, but we can still score on him. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah. No, that's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. And I hope we see a Game 7, with Toronto and Ottawa. And it'd be great for Ottawa to be able to push this after being down 3-0 and to get it to a Game 7, and then who knows? Because a couple of these games obviously have gone into overtime. They've been right there. The series could be completely different if it wasn't for a bounce here or there, or maybe a little bit better backside pressure, a little better effort from a couple guys.
Yes. I'm even happy for Brady to, like, it would have sucked for me to watch him and want him to do well for them to lose
in 4 or 5
to get swept.
Yeah.
Now you're like, this is growth for their team, for their young group. Yeah. Even if they lose Game 6, this is they've made it would it wouldn't have felt like a step forward.
No, but it's a great opportunity for them on home ice to push this to a Game 7.
Why not?
And they've got some leaders who have been there before. I mean, guys like David Perron. Giroux has never won a cup or whatever, but he's a veteran guy. They've got some. I think they've got some leaders, and this Jake Sanderson's a hell of a player too, man. This defenseman, he's so good. And Stützle's playing well. They've got some.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It's not going to be easy for Toronto at all. And we'll see what kind of version of Brady Tkachuk they get tonight too. He could be an absolute animal coming up in this Game
it's
6.
Be great.
Your thoughts on LA's head coach Hiller? It goes back to the challenge. Did that really disrupt things, you think, for this team? Because they haven't been the same team since. They haven't won a game.
Right. No, I mean,
he's taking some heat.
Everybody is not giving enough credit to the depth of the Oilers. And the depth of the Oilers started to gain confidence. The constants have been the constants, obviously, with McDavid and Draisaitl and their performance, but they're getting better performances, contributions from the depth that we were wondering, is this a good enough depth now to go further? So they're playing better, and they got a goalie who's playing, doesn't look, I don't like the way that kid looks in the net.
Ooh, which one, for LA?
Yeah, no, yeah. For the Oilers.
Picker?
But he's getting it done.
He's getting it done.
You look at him, you're like, oh my God.
And the questions that he's getting is just like, it's almost like offensive, It's so funny to hear some of his answers, but he is the better option of the two between Skinner right now.
Well, I don't know how sustainable that is.
Quentin Byfield, though. I mean, what are you thinking if you're him? He just couldn't get the puck out of the net a couple games ago. I mean,
what were we doing?
Or out of the zone. I don't know what he was doing. He had plenty of time and space. It was an easy chip. He could have skated it out.
He wanted to carry it out to score the empty netter.
Right.
Dude, Just chip it out to the blue line.
Bouchard
win the
didn't even
hockey game.
move. He was like stuck.
Just chip it off the boards.
Just chip it. He had someone wide open to his right too. Kempe or somebody.
He didn't see him. He saw empty net. And that's like, oof.
But he could have chipped
Tough
with,
lesson.
with
'Cause
his power and speed. He could have chipped it, and Bouchard was flat-footed. He would have won that race to the puck.
Yes. But he's you know what's hard? He's played so well
Mhm.
that sucks at that.
Oh, I agree.
What
He's a great young player.
He's taken a step. I didn't think 2 years ago. I was like, I don't know what this
Yeah,
kid.
a lot of people were wondering that. He had a great year.
Yeah. Really smart the way they played it.
Mhm.
They played him with Kopitar as a winger. He learned through and then finally got him back to his proper position, which
Yeah. Well, he's going to be a good player for a long time. We'll see what happens there. I can't even begin to predict. Minnesota, Vegas. Is this Vegas' series now?
Yes, they'll get it done. But it's been fun to watch.
It has been.
Pretty amazing what Kaprizov and I'll tell you what, that kid, what's his name? Left-handed number 12. Boldy. He is
so good.
Special.
So good.
He is special.
And he's been good for the day that from the U.S. program on. Like
as soon as that coach left, he took off.
Yeah.
I remember I did a game for them a couple years ago, and I asked him about him. He's like, well, the young guy's got to learn because he was like in and out of the lineup.
You asked Dean Evison?
Yeah, I asked him about him. He's like, well, he needs to learn, like, can't do those like those high. I'm like, I was thinking to myself, just let him play.
Yeah.
Like, just let him play. Like, the kid's a player.
A lot of coaching vacancies right now. This whole thing with Quenneville and Anaheim, I think is real, and there's some real possibility that he ends up getting that job.
Nice.
I don't think anything's going to happen this week, so it's not imminent as it stands right now, but I do think there has been an offer there. So we'll see how that plays out with Anaheim and St. Louis. You just wonder, or Anaheim and Joel Quenneville, you wonder what the future will be for Hiller, the head coach of LA, if they lose this series with all these coaches that are available right now. Tocchet now is back on the market. Your buddy from Western Michigan interviewed with Keith Jones in Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah. So
good.
I don't know if he would leave there. I don't know if he's the front runner to get it, but Jonesy would have played with him, right? Pat
Furschweiler. He would have been with him for 1 year if he did it all.
Yeah.
First was a senior when I was a freshman. He was our captain.
Okay.
So
you missed Jones.
I did. I missed him and Eastie.
Okay.
So I think either they played together or because I missed Eastie by 2 years maybe. Those guys are a lot older than me. Even though I did.
Talking about Eastwood?
I went at 17.
Mike Eastwood.
Yes.
He played there? I didn't know he was Western Michigan.
He did. With Jonesy. That's why he's working with Jonesy right now.
Great face-off guy when he was here in St. Louis.
Yes. I learned about face-offs from him.
Did you?
Because, I'm a student of the game, buddy, and I remember I was playing with him, and I'm like, how is this guy getting on the ice with 2 minutes left?
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him about it. He's like, I can win face-offs.
Right.
Like, I can learn how to take face-offs.
Were you always a center?
Growing up, yeah. And then the Blues told Western they wanted me to be a winger, so my senior year I played wing.
Okay. And then you ended up shifting back to playing some
so it was nice to be able to do both.
Yeah. You got to have that versatility. You think it's harder to go from wing to center or center to wing?
Oh, it's almost impossible to go from wing to center.
Yeah. Because I do hear a lot of, like, especially at youth hockey, parents will be like, well, he's not used to playing wing, but he's only played center. It's like,
no,
that's easy, Trent.
Go over there. Like, that's easy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. I asked Walt like 2 years ago what I should have crew play. Mm-hmm. And he said, first thing he said, well, does he skate well? Like, is he a good skater? I said, yeah, he's a really good skater. And he said, but he's not very big.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, doesn't matter if he can skate, then play him at
center.
So
yeah,
he said Matthew wasn't a good enough skater to play center, so he kept him on the wing. Mm-hmm. Brady played center because he could skate. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was interesting. And at first I didn't, I just honestly blindly trusted his opinion, and I'm glad I did.
No, 100%. It's interesting you say that. Matthew Tkachuk, they just had the rankings for the slowest players in the league.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how many great players don't have these crazy,
what was
burst
the speed
of
number?
Speed. I think 20.
Okay, so
they had a maximum speed, then they had the number of times that they reached 20.
Dude, I'm not getting paid for this, but I should be if I'm going to mention this company, but you got to check it out. Bryce is part of it. It's called Helios.
Who's part of it?
Helios. Bryce Salvador.
Yeah.
It's this entrapment that attached to the shoulder pads of players, and it captures all this data. Their top speed, their burst, their endurance.
You can buy them at Pure Hockey. I don't know if it's the same company or not.
I just got it. It's really interesting.
Is it accurate?
It's unbelievably accurate.
Do you just get an app on your phone? Or
yes, it's on your phone. Tells you each sessions. You can do a skill session, a practice, and a game.
Does it save it? Does it
store it? It saves it. And the idea is once you get 40, 50, where it becomes relevant is you're able to talk to the athlete and say, well, you think you perform well because of your feeling or da-da-da. No, you had 18 bursts in that game, and that's why you.
How do they define a burst?
Well, it measures everything. I don't even know how to.
What's the speed for a kid to get?
That's what I was going to get to you because I thought you would think this is interesting. I'll go to a practice. His top speed was 17.1.
Okay.
And I found that interesting when you're telling. I looked at the top speed for those
around 20.1.
20. Yeah. So it's pretty.
So he's almost as fast as Pat Maroon right now. Patty, great career, Patty.
Just saying.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. But in all due respect, what they should have said on the same, if they're going to give that data, then what they should have also mentioned is how smart those two players are below the hash marks and how they're able to create and understand the give and go game, positioning, getting to the net,
timing,
making little
everything.
Plays like that. That they should also say these are also the smartest players in the league.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of players. It wasn't just Matthew Tkachuk and Maroon. There was a bunch of really high level players who are very successful. Who were, Ryan O'Reilly was up there. I mean, there's a bunch.
Yeah, come on. But that's my point. Stops those are really good, productive players for a long time.
Sundqvist was up there.
Not surprised.
No, and Sonny, in his defense, he's very cerebral, extremely smart. That's why he's a really good penalty killer. That's why he's in the lineup every game. You talk to Jim Montgomery privately, he will rave about how intelligent of a player he is, and people don't attach that to Sundqvist, but how important he is for a guy like Bolduc and some of these other younger players that he plays with. Smart player, man.
Yep.
Understands
the game.
Okay, good stuff, man. Looking forward to all the action over the course of the weekend. Then we'll see what happens Friday night. So, what do we have here going on with Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, Jamal?
Well, you know what? It's a great time to get new tires. They've got 43 locations. Dobbs is offering unbelievable deals. Doesn't matter what tire deals you're looking for. It's Coopers, Continentals, BF Goodrich, all kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter what you drive, a car, light truck, van, SUV, hybrid, EV. Dobbs has a team of experienced tire technicians and ASE certified associates to service them all. Go to Dobbs.com now for more deals.
What's for dinner, Jammer?
You know what I like? Me some Bartolino's. Bartolino's has 5 restaurants now. Bartolino's South, Bartolino's Osteria, Chris's Pancake and Dining, Chris at the Docket, and Bartolino's Twin Oaks, their new one. They forge many lasting relationships with their customers. Their family motto, cook good food, serve plenty. 50-plus years in business, only 2 places to dine, at home or at one of Bartolino's family restaurants.
No doubt. Real quick, Avs in Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Avs goaltending just was terrible at the beginning of the game last game, right? I mean, they just gave Dallas a 2-0 lead.
Yes. It's going to be a Game 7.
Okay.
There'll be a Game 7.
Yeah, the Stars are up 3-2 right now, so that game's in Colorado.
There will be a Game 7.
Who wins Game 7?
That I don't know. I think the pull of guys on Dallas that haven't won is a strong pull. And because they like each other, you're going to get a lot out of the group. I think you underestimate that sometimes.
Yeah, the longer the series goes, maybe it gets into the favor of a Dallas.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the longer it goes, the personalities on Colorado become frustrated.
Yes, and Ottinger is the better goalie.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, they're waiting for him to have his moment in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and he's certainly capable of it. Lordo's Diamonds, get there today, 314-432-8008, right in the heart of Ladue, right next to Truffles.
Good luck to Ty.
Thank you. Yeah, he's up in Toronto this weekend, so that'll be fun for him. And
awesome.
I'm not used to where there's no live bar in Jamal. You just got to envision it in your own head.
What team is he playing on?
It's with that Clever group.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
Versteeg's group. Yeah. So he's coaching.
Does he get the onesie on? The Cooperall where it looks like pants and looks.
No, I don't know what they're giving them. Actually, he's getting he'll pick it up whatever when he gets there. They got a jersey and socks and everything.
Is Carlo going to be a part of that too?
His kid's a year younger.
Okay.
but he's not. He's actually playing in a tournament in Scarborough this weekend with his kids. So
Nice.
there's this tournaments everywhere. These guys have it made. These guys who live in Toronto, they have no idea how nice it is that they just never have to travel.
Dude, I never left Toronto when I grew up. We didn't go anywhere. People talk about out-of-town tournaments. We didn't go to out-of-town
Like people in
tournaments.
Canada are like, oh, it's so expensive to play. You don't ever have to travel.
Never.
In Detroit, it's easy travel. You're 3 hours from Toronto or Chicago.
Yeah. It's don't get me started about some of the younger teams that are traveling all over the place. I think there should be a rule in our organization, AAA Blues, do not go anywhere other than Detroit and Chicago. Your parents should not have to get on a plane unless they want to.
Yeah. Which not many want to. Hey, the Little Blues program, get your son or daughter signed up for Little Blues today. Firstcommunity.com, they'll give you all the information on Little Blues. You want to introduce your son or daughter to the game of hockey without investing thousands and thousands of dollars. So before you start sending your kid out of town, find out if they like it. And you can do that with Little Blues, man. Best program going. Little Blues, Blue Note Roofing, everybody, all our great sponsors here on Hockey Sense. We appreciate everybody here at Half Coast Studios as well. Went with the Panthers and the Sens today, the Tkachuk brothers, who may meet each other in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Advice, don't fight each other.
I thought the Shens have both been very competitive, though, in terms of how they've...
don't fight each other. I learned from the Primos.
Yeah.
I played with Wayne in Toronto. It's one of their brother's biggest regrets.
The Sutters used to fight.
Because Keith was tougher than Wayne.
Yeah.
And
I don't think they would fight. They would definitely would not fight.
I just don't think it's a good idea.
They wouldn't fight. And the Shens wouldn't fight each other either.
And not that it was my brother, but fighting Dallas Drake was awful. It was an awful.
Yeah, I remember talking
feeling.
to you right afterwards.
Yeah. So don't. You got to compete. You got to battle, but just don't do that to your mom.
No, there's no doubt about that. They got to get past Toronto first. Ottawa does. Should be a great Game 6 tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed the show as always. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think on YouTube. Everyone who listens on the podcast app, we appreciate that as well, as the numbers continue to grow each and every week. So we appreciate the support here on Hockey Sense Live from Half Coast Studios.